Big Boys with Cool Toys presents RCTV, your radio control authority. Brought to you in part by X10 Productions. With your host, Nick Rack.
Fuel him up and get him on the track. Let's see how he's doing. This thing is massive. Well, folks, here we go. Last episode of the year. We've seen helis. We've been coast to coast, right, to see cars. We've seen monster truck. We've even seen drag racing and all kind of fantastic planes above the water. We've been below the water with some submarines. We have everything on this show, so stick around, enjoy, have a great time, folks. Okay, we're here at the Oakville Airshow with Mike McDermen. Mike, beautiful plane. I love the color. What type of plane is this?
It's a mid-30s Great Lakes trainer. It's a very rare model. This particular aircraft has a rounded nose, but most of them had a taped nose, much like the Tiger Moth models.
Now, what year was this plane?
Probably in the mid-30s. Now, as you can see, there's a call sign on this particular aircraft. The man that made this, a guy called Jack Swift, he actually went to the real aircraft, took 200-300 photographs, came home, and made the aircraft.
Okay, we're here with one of our favorite builders and flyers, Carl Bach-Hoover. How you doing, buddy? What a great plane. Every year you surprise me. Now, what is this beauty we're looking at today?
This is a Douglas DC6, the military version, which was called the VC-118. It was used to haul the president at that time, Harry Truman, and he had the plane painted specially and called it the Independence in honor of his hometown, Independence, Missouri. And the model has a 180-inch wingspan. It actually is about five and a half years old. It's powered with G26s. It's actually quite marginally powered. I have a feeling that most of our airplanes, our radio control airplanes, fly way too fast to really represent a realistic view of the real thing in the air. So what I do is sort of almost by design underpower them. So this plane flies quite slowly, and it takes some amount of gentleness on the controls.
Basically, as a builder yourself, you're really trying to build something that's a little bit more authentic.
Yes.
And I mean, you're not doing loops and rolls with this, nothing that the plane would do, because it is really just a passenger plane.
Right. This was the first Air Force One plane. And at that time, they didn't call it Air Force One, but certainly it was the first presidential plane specifically built and fitted for the president.
We're here with Chris Dehaney. Chris.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Beautiful Corsair here. Now tell me a bit about the history of this type of plane.
The plane was originally developed in early 1940, 41, I guess, but never saw service till 44. And this actual version of the Corsair is actually a copy of a Marine's Dream, which is an aircraft now that actually flies shows. That actually never actually saw service.
You know, you got a great looking pilot in there. Obviously the canopy opens and closes. Now does that canopy work on a servo?
It was called the Channel 3, which allows you to connect a couple of channels together and control a third. So actually the canopy is connected with the landing gear and the flap, so that when full flap is down, the gear is down. 30 seconds after that, the canopy will open. The cowl itself, I guess, and the dummy radial were by Fiberglass Specialties, but I finished them out myself in terms.
Yeah, you did a real nice patina there, which makes it look quite authentic. Now, with these planes, because they were a carrier-based plane, the wings fold.
These are all electronically controlled. Again, a device from Oregon Scale Aviation called Wingman 3 actually controls the wing fold, and it's connected to a switch on the receiver that God's a particular Army sequence, you can't actually accidentally fold them in flight, but they do fold with servos. Again, I think the flap was originally designed that way because of the wing fold. They had to split the flap, and I guess the gull wing itself presented some challenges in terms of having a linear flap system. So they actually, on the gull part, as you can see, the flap is broken into two pieces, and then they extend the flap out into the wing fold.
Now, you were saying to me earlier, it did come as a kit, but the wings were actually scratch built.
The whole thing started out, I was just going to build a prototype wing actually, and figure out how it all worked and get it all working properly, and then I was going to kind of just put it aside and use it as a three-dimensional blueprint to build the final wing. But by the time I got it all functioning, working, it was just so much work to do the first time, I figured I'd just finish out that one. So.
Yeah, it's a wonderful plane. Can't wait to see it up in the air one day. Hopefully we're going to see it up in the air one day when we come back. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Great, thank you very much.
There you go, folks. Corsair, 1944.